Hey, everybody, and welcome to Superheroes Speak. I'm your host, Dave.
And I'm Don.
And yes, people may have noticed that we weren't live on Wednesday. It was a pre recorded episode. I did an interview with Thomas Marvelli, and I put that up as the episode. Hopefully, no one was too upset about that. Though I looked at it when it was live, and not a lot of people were watching. So. Maybe we're being punished for that. I don't know. We'll see.
It does fool people though, because I was streaming on our Discord, and Kasan joined me, after the show,
Mm-hmm.
and he was saying like he was, posting questions and stuff before I realized it wasn't a live show. So we definitely get people with that stuff.
Yes, we're sorry. We apologize. We don't mean to be that way. I don't have any slides prepared for tonight. I've been off all day because I was up early yesterday. But let's what we're going to talk about this week. I can say that I had a list somewhere. Oh wait, what did I do with it? I don't have it up anymore. All right, so we definitely got some Spider-Man news to talk about. We've got Magic the Gathering news you wanted to talk about.
Right. Anna Taylor-Joy is not Black Cat, so I'll be interested to talk about that with you.
The
Spidey Juggernaut,
and of course, Superman. There was a footage that came out from CinemaCon on the. It's like the first couple minutes of the movie. They said. So obviously everyone's talking about. We will talk about that, of course, and yeah, and it's. I wanted to say this before we got into it. It's annoying that DC and James Gunn released that footage. It's on the DC channel, but the stuff that was released for the Fantastic Four at CinemaCon, Marvel has not released that to the public.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why they still play that stuff so close to the chest, but
yeah,
I guess it feels like they keeps them employed. I don't know, but
there's some exclusivity out there, I guess. I don't know.
With all that being said, how are you, sir? How is your week, your night off? Do anything fun, interesting?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty boring week. But unfortunately, the wife got sick halfway through, and now I'm sick. Well, that sucks. But I have been streaming on the Discord. I don't have schedule, because I'm not a streamer. I'm a podcaster. But when I do play some video games, I go there on the Discord. And you could, if you want to know, hey, when's the best time I can catch you and hang out with you on Discord? I'd say, I'd probably check about 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the weeknights. And then other than that, Saturday mornings, pretty good chance I'm fucking around on there with some video games. So check it out. Hung out with Kasan, had a good time. So love to hang out with some more of you. How about you, Dave? How was your week?
Uneventful, really. For the most part, work was boring. Waiting on one group to finish some stuff so I can do my work, and I was given busy work, which is always annoying. And then my girlfriend's one son was going to the Art Institute of Philadelphia. They were shut down last year at the end of the spring semester. They just basically closed the school, and everyone was like, "That's it." It was a shock. No one knew it was coming. So he's been kind of like drifting for the past year. Temple had offered to fully match his scholarship, and he was going to go there, and then kind of like chickened out last minute. And he found the New York School of Visual Arts, I think it's called, and he was looking into them. He really seemed to like it. He applied, got accepted. So yesterday was the what you call it, the tour for new students, and his mother asked me to go with them because she doesn't like to go to New York by herself.
Sure.
Originally, we were going to get a hotel and go on Friday night and get up and go there, but she didn't want. Then all of a sudden, it became, I don't want to spend the money for a hotel. So I spent the night Friday at her house, but then we had to get up at 5 a.m. to be out the door by 6 to make sure we were there on time.
Yeah.
So
that's rough.
Yeah, needless to say, came home last night. By the time I got home, I was done, and I've been tired all day. So, what are you going to do? I did finally watch today, though, Daredevil episode 7. And I assume,
Same here.
I'm about to say, I know you just watched it today as well. So what'd you think?
I mean, it seems to kind of go to this formula of I'm sitting there for the first 15, 20 minutes, Daredevil Born Again. Here I am. But then it gets a lot better near the end of the episode. And this episode, that was my experience with it. Bored. Okay, here we go. This is cool. So I liked it.
I just read your name tag. You made a bird levitate, but no one cares. Yeah, I understand your boredom with it. It's like they're doing this whole cat and mouse thing. Like, we know that Kingpin knows he's Daredevil.
Yeah.
Of course, because of what happened in the Netflix show, which is funny because you kind of feel like maybe they weren't going to originally go with that when they were going to reboot the series, but now that they've made that like the focus, obviously they have to, right? You're continuing from that. You have to continue from him knowing that Matt Murdock is Daredevil, though they could have played it off that when he got shot in the head in what you call it, the Hawkeye show, that he forgot that he lost part of his memory. But no. And what's Kassan say? Devil May Cry. And then of course they now pull the whole thing off with the girlfriend, is suspicious that he's Daredevil, but doesn't say anything. And I hate that crap. I really do. In these kinds of shows, like, any woman would have turned to him and said, "Are you Daredevil?"
Yeah.
Like, because he says her name, and she would know his voice.
Well, and he also took off his glove and like caressed her face, which he did like 2 scenes before that. So I thought they were totally telegraphing that she was going to realize that her boyfriend Matt Murdock was indeed Daredevil. But yeah, they didn't go that way yet. And I guess since we're in spoiler territory, but I really want to talk about Muse. So obviously the whole he's foggy theory is out the door because spoiler alert, he's not foggy. And that's okay. I'm not disappointed by that. I'm not going to be disappointed by the fact that maybe theory was wrong. But I felt like they were kind of telegraphing that there was going to be some big reveal with his identity. He didn't talk or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then this episode, I feel like they were just like, he's some random fucking guy. And so, that took me off guard.
Thrawn says the Daredevil Muse fight was kind of trash. I don't know about, I don't know about that. I mean, it was a interesting fight. The whole fact that they made sure that they said he took Taekwondo.
Yeah.
To make sure, like, yes, so he's trained, so he's able to keep up with Daredevil. But the whole thing is he took it when
all he wants to do is do art. It's the whole.
He did it once. He took lessons when he was a kid and stopped doing it. He's not going to able to keep
Yeah.
up with Daredevil. Like, I just thought that was stupid. And then, but I guess, it makes for better TV. But the other thing that got me about the episode, which I thought was just a little off, is that the detective comes into the office, into Fisk's office, and says, we've narrowed it down to this many people, and then we talked to all of them, and the only one we couldn't contact was this one guy, so we believe he's Muse.
Yeah.
We weren't able to contact him.
Yeah.
Okay, but like, he's a murder suspect, and you're just gonna calmly go into the mayor's office and say, we couldn't contact the serial killer, so, but we believe that's who. Like, and also, like, it would have been public knowledge, not public knowledge, but like, they could have easily looked at his records, saw that he was seeing, I want to say, I kept wanting to say Karen, but seeing the psychologist, right? Like, because it's obviously, it's not his first time when he shows up to try to kill her.
Yeah.
So they would have been able to like contact the office, and they would have said, oh, he's got an appointment today, because she's not shocked to see him. It was obviously a planned appointment. And if the police say he's a suspected killer, or that he's a person of interest, they would have probably said, yeah, he's got an
check
appointment.
up on that.
Right. Yeah. And the police could have been waiting there, but like, no. Yet they figured out where he was, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, none of that's explained. It's a little weird, so.
It is a little weird, like with the Wilson Fisk and
hello, James. Go ahead.
And his wife thing, like, is she trying to kill him? Is she not? Are they working together to kill the guy? So remember the end scene where Vanessa messages to the guy that,
oh yeah,
Kingpin said, hey, it's $2 million. He's alone in this restaurant, but he goes in there, to shoot him in the back of the head. But there's, one of his dudes in the shadows popped him. So it's like, is Vanessa working with him, and did she set that assassination up, or did she really think the guy was going to be able to kill the Kingpin, and he just kind of saw it coming? I don't know. It's that part's kind of interesting. So
yeah, I mean, and that's all part of the cat and mouse stuff with it too, right? Like, you would think Vanessa would know he's gonna have at least one bodyguard waiting in the shadows. Like, the guy's not gonna be able to just walk in and kill him. So, yeah, like, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Well, that'll probably be revealed within one of the next 2 episodes, I think. You know.
It still holds my interest, but it's not super exciting. And it's been out since Wednesday, and I didn't watch it till today. So that just kind of, but again, I'm not a big Daredevil fan. I'm not a big street level fan in general, street level hero fan in general. So I do have a bias.
Yeah. I mean, I am a Daredevil fan. I loved the Netflix show. And again, I get your boredom with it. And one of the things that kind of like got me is the whole, I feel like the direction they're going is everyone's going to know who Matt is by the end of the show.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's what the whole show seems to be setting up, is his secret identity being leaked to more people. And I'm like, wait, we just did this with Spider-Man in No Way Home, right? That was the whole thing.
Exactly.
Everyone knew who Spider-Man was. Then the whole incursion, all these people are showing up. So he's like, he nearly screwed over the entire universe. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Unfortunately, this Daredevil is not friends with Doctor Strange. At least not yet.
Right.
I would love that. Him showing up and be like, all right, I can do the spell one more time. And this time I think I can get it right.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, that's Daredevil episode 7. Obviously, I think we only have I don't remember how many episodes there are total. Is it 8? Is there only one more to go?
Let me look here.
Okay. 8 seems to be the magic number for these shows anymore. 8 or 10. This makes for exciting podcasting. No, computer.
It's 13 episodes.
Oh, 13. Wow, that's a lot.
13, yeah.
All right. Well,
it's a lot of boring shit. I'm just kidding.
We got 6 more to go. Maybe some other hero's going to show up. Let's see. And make it a little more exciting for Don, you know.
Maybe it'd be nice.
Maybe one of the X-Men will show up.
Hey, there we go.
Then you'll say it's the greatest show on Disney Plus.
I don't know about that.
Don, do you think we will see the back of more OG X-Men shares in the near future?
Yeah, I do. I mean, they've already confirmed that they're going to bring more actors in, or that they didn't reveal all the actors.
Right.
So I do. I kind of do. I hope they do.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think who else.
Not a lot of people are going to get screen time, though. I've already determined that. Like,
yeah,
some of these people must only have seconds in the movie.
Yeah, in fact, I guarantee probably the people we've seen have actual scenes and lines. Anyone that's introduced now is just a walk-on cameo, you know.
Yeah.
Like if Halle Berry shows up as Storm or something like that, it's just going to be a quick walk-on cameo, you know. Or if we get Ray Park back as Toad.
As Toad?
Yeah.
That'd be great. You know, I was thinking today, Dave, that you know, the X-Men movies, if it wasn't for X3, they would have really had a good run. Because the first X-Men movie was good.
Right.
The second X-Men movie is panned as the best one there is. Okay, they fucked up X3.
Big time.
But then they come back with X-Men First Class, and there's a lot about that movie that there's a lot of choices that they made in that movie that annoys me. But for whatever reason, when I sat down and watched it, I was really entertained.
Right.
And then to make that even better, they come out with Days of the Future Past, which is my favorite X-Men film that's not Deadpool, and fix. So it really made First Class a little bit more legitimate as to why it was so different, because it kind of gets undone.
Yeah.
So if they wouldn't have fucked up, you know, and then of course we got Apocalypse, which they totally fucking wasted Oscar Isaac by saying, hey, you know, it's a great idea. Let's make Apocalypse the same size as Oscar Isaac. No, that's not it.
And purple.
Then yeah, and purple, you know, and looking like Ivan Ooze, right? And then they did the Phoenix movie, which they should have known. You already fucked up the Phoenix movie with the aforementioned X3, which fucks up our whole streak here. Although, and Sophie Turner, Ty Sheridan, like that shit was cast very well. And I like the first 15 minutes of that movie, by the way, but it is trash. So my whole point, I know I've gone off sidetrack here. I'm sorry, I'm sick and a little drunk. Is that if X3 didn't suck, if X3 was good if X3 was good, they would have had 6 X-Men movies in a row.
Yeah,
that were good.
Yeah.
So with that said, I'm glad bringing it home to subject here. I'm glad we're going to get to see the old X-Men that we're going to get to see that we know of, and I definitely want there to be more, because let's face it, the new X-Men movies that we do get, like, I'm pretty sure it's going to be some Krakoa stuff, and I'll never get my X-Men just like you're not getting your Spidey, which we'll talk about. That's just life as we know it, buddy. But nonetheless, I hope to see more.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah, and I think not bringing Halle Berry back would be a mistake. So, all right. Oh, maybe we'll get Bishop too. All right.
Kassan says, I think this is an HR issue. Don is forced to work when he is sick. No sick days with superhero speak. No, absolutely. In my benefits package, there are sick days, but I use them to go fishing. So I kind of gotta.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, lots of fish.
On me.
All right. Well, you know what? On that note, I think we can have Darth Don come in and tell us where we can find more superhero speak.
Darth Don here. And you must subscribe to Superhero Speak if you haven't already. And if you have already, make another account and subscribe again. You also will like this video. And while you're on the HoloNet, go to superheroespeak.com. Find the links to our merch and purchase one of our shirts. Don't skimp on the shipping, or else I will trap you in a box with an agitated gun dog named Brie Larson. I would just force lightning you, but we don't have that in the effects budget. Now, back to the show. Yeah.
You like to self-medicate there?
I don't think he's wrong.
No.
I just don't think about him much. I just do.
You just do. You just are. You're just Don.
Right. I just exist.
All right. Let's not waste a lot of time. Let's talk a little. So, Marvel has decided to piss off all of the Spider-Man fans and remind us that the storyline One More Day exists by calling the next Spider-Man movie Brand New Day, which we all know is the follow-up story in the Marvel comics to the One More Day storyline. And it kind of makes sense. It's funny. I was actually talking to my son about this earlier, and he said, well, it makes sense because No Way Home was kind of like One More Day. And I'm like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is a lot of people have pointed this out. The Avengers movies Doomsday. This is One More Day. There might be a day theme in the titles for the next few movies. That's my guess. So, yeah. So, before I get into my feelings, what do you think of the title of this movie? Does it make sense to you?
Yeah, I don't know, because it made me think of, because I'm not as versed in Spider-Man, but it made me think of the storyline where Mary Jane dies because of the spider sperm. Isn't that got what is that? One More Day or whatever the hell it's called?
No, that was during the other. I think was that during the other storyline. I don't remember, but
wrong arc. I know, because I was getting excited because I'm like, oh, are we back on Mephisto watch? But keep John's
the only thing
traditional line.
The only good thing I believe it's in One More Day when this was revealed. It might be after One More Day. The only good thing that came out of that, all of that, is, and it wasn't Bendis who wrote this or Kusada. That was Kusada, right? Who did? It wasn't Bendis. It was Kusada who did One More Day. In the Brand New Day arc, they reveal that the reason he didn't want Peter and MJ to be married anymore, that's why that was the thing he put up, is because Mayday Parker is the only person that could defeat him in the future. So he doesn't want Mayday to exist. So by getting rid of the marriage, they are erasing Mayday from existence, which I think is stupid because they could still find each other, fall in love again, and have a kid. So I think he's just delaying the inevitable, though Marvel has recently come out, and their current editor-in-chief is also a jerk who is like, no, they're not getting back together anytime soon. That's not going to happen. It's not on the table, blah, blah. And it's just like, but people want it. Like,
yeah.
It was so stupid because the whole theory behind why they reset Peter, erased his marriage and reset him, is because him being married aged him, and he didn't appeal to young readers anymore.
Yeah.
But that was dumb, because what happened was he's still the same age. All they did was now he's living with his aunt again, eating wheat cakes, and then going off to teach. And it's just like, well, that's dumb. All you made him pathetic now. Now he's just a guy in his late 20s, early 30s, living with his aunt at home still, and doesn't have a girlfriend or a wife. And it's like, that's just stupid. Like, if they would reset it to where he was a kid again, but then you could sit there and say, well, he's going to grow up and meet Mary Jane again. But they, so it's the dumbest thing Marvel's ever done. Let's see.
The dumbest, absolutely.
I don't know.
Thrawn kill. I just made a deal that will keep the Brie Larson out of here forever. Thank you, Thrawn Kill, for just making a dumb, stupid thought so funny. Kassan, those to anime are a cure for the sludge pushed out by Disney and Marvel.
I must have missed something here. I wonder if everyone will go see the trailer for Primal War. It's Jurassic Park's true inheritor. Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. Anyway, back to Spidey. Yeah, it's. I feel like the people that are in charge of Marvel now are a bunch of man-childs who don't want Peter married. I mean, it's funny, great, because they're never going to
be a simp like them, huh?
No, they're never going to erase Reed and Sue's marriage, right? Because it doesn't make sense. It's because they've been together for so long. They've been together since the comic started, and they got married fairly early in the genre of marrying off superheroes.
Yeah. I mean, because there was never like, oh, are Sue Storm and Reed Richards going to get together, arc. It was. And now you got Franklin Richards and Valeria Richards.
Well, we'll talk about Franklin in a minute. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kassan. And I'm sorry, not Kassan. Thrawn. No. No,
I don't think he's lying.
No, I'm not saying he's lying. He said Mary Jane's the new Venom. Guys, aren't we excited? No, I am not excited. It's like they're really running out of ideas.
Oh, yeah. All new Venom number 5. Yep.
Oh, yes. Very exciting. Are you a fan of Family Guy? There was a scene where publishers were asking Stephen King to make a new book. He panics and grabs a lamp and introduces a lamp monster. Yeah. Thank you, Kassan. You know what? Look, as much as I like the symbiote storyline, starting from the original Secret Wars, leading up to um, the introduction of Venom, and even the Lethal Protector storylines, it's a character that's run its course in the comics. Like, either they could have kept him going as Eddie Brock, Lethal Protector, forever, or just end the character. But like having what's his face, Scorpion, be him for a while, and then um
Yeah.
Flash Thompson what was him, and now Mary Jane. It's just like, come on, please, can
Well,
we
and
just.
now he's got his son. He has his son. That was a whole big part of the King in Black storyline, which really pumped the Venom shit up by 10 with Null and all that. Like, no, they like the editors of Marvel like the symbiote shit a lot.
Right, but
I don't
they
hate
don't,
it, but I'm not quite sure why everything needs to get venomized.
because they think it sells books, plain and simple. um but anyway, wow, we really got off topic here.
Yeah,
um
it's been a while.
so yeah, one more day, I don't know, like, I mean, it makes sense from you know like I said at the beginning, people think it's related to the Doomsday One More Day
Yeah.
naming convention. Okay, fine. And it is a follow-up to um No Way Home, where everyone forgets he's Spider-Man, which is basically what happens in One More Day. So like, okay, yeah, fine. But as long as we're not doing as long as we don't find out Mephisto is behind all this, or
Yeah.
they don't do anything crazy like bring in actual Mary Jane or um Gwen Stacy, hint hint, um
Uh-huh.
then I'll be fine. Oh yeah, speaking of that, so there was a rumor that was going around. It was a fan pick for Anna Taylor-Joy to play Felicia Hardy, Black Cat,
Yeah.
in the next Spider-Man movie. And it had been going around for a while. There were sites that were carrying it as an actual story. One of the producers of the next Spider-Man movie was asked straight out, is she playing Black Cat? And she's like, no. She's like, she's an amazing actress, but like we're not even talking to her right now. And he's like, I can't say anything more than that, blah blah blah. And there are rumors that Anna Taylor-Joy is somehow involved with the next Spider-Man movie. Those have been rumors for a while. Um, you have a funny look on your face, and I'm going to guess it has something to do with New Mutants. But go ahead.
Yes, you are exactly correct. I see no reason why they need to have her play anyone else but Magic, aka Liliana Rasputin.
Oh, that is your issue. Okay.
She is the perfect Magic. And that's actually one thing that made me excited with them bringing these old actors over. And I thought the New Mutants could actually tie into the MCU since it was pretty much an isolated story. They introduced Mr. Sinister, by
What
the
if
way.
she actually is Magic?
And that's awesome. I don't know who, because Anna Taylor-Joy is very distinct looking.
Yeah, and she's a
And
really good actress, I think.
she is a really good actress. Absolutely,
Yeah.
she is. But I hate to typecast her, at least in the MCU, but I'll never see her as anybody other than Magic. She's just perfect for it.
Okay, I can see that.
Who else in the MCU could she possibly play? Sue Storm's out of the picture. I'm trying to think of all the like various blondes. Not that hair dye isn't a thing, but Captain Marvel.
Gwen Stacy is the other, like,
sure,
that's what everyone's
sure.
saying now. Oh, well then she must be Gwen Stacy. There was that
You
other
know,
actress
I
who was
wouldn't hate
cast.
that.
There's that other actress who was cast, and they're saying that she's Gwen Stacy, and then Ika said, "Well, she's a redhead, so maybe she's Mary Jane." So what if they do the whole like? Because that was kind of the storyline in the comics in the 60s and the 70s a little bit with um Dazzler.
Thrawn Kill in the chat is suggesting Dazzler. And the only reason I'm going to say absolutely no is because, let's face it, Dazzler is a popular character in the X-Men. And I definitely would like to see her in an X-Men movie. But she's not going to be that big of a role. And there's no reason not to have Taylor
Yeah.
Swift play Dazzler.
So there was the storyline in the 60s with the whole Mary Jane versus Gwen Stacy and like who's he going to end up with, you know? And believe it or not, the story is, I don't know how true this is. They were building up to, they were going to kill off, like they had a plan, they were going to kill off a major character in the Spider-Man universe. And supposedly Stan Lee went on vacation because he was the editor-in-chief at the time, and he went on vacation or whatever, and he said, you guys decide. I trust you. You guys decide. And that's when we got the death of Gwen Stacy, where apparently it was a debate between Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy. And when he got back, he was like, oh, that's the one you picked, right? Because the way he talked about it was Gwen Stacy was the girl you took home to mom, that the one you ended up marrying, and Mary Jane was the party girl that you went and had fun with, but you didn't have a serious relationship with. Now all of a sudden, she's the one that's left, so he's got to have a serious relationship with the party girl. So, which, you know, that they changed, they tone her down obviously after a while, but so I'm throwing this out there. This is a totally wild speculation, but what if they did the whole Gwen versus MJ now that Mary Jane, now that the MCU MJ doesn't know who he is anymore, and maybe he's going to be in college, and you know there's two girls fighting over him in college, like, and it could just be like a side story that has nothing to do with the movie. It would be stupid, but yeah.
Could bring the wives or girlfriends into it. You know, they always like a good love triangle.
Yeah.
Judging by how much reality TV my wife watches.
So, yeah, but no, I do kind of agree with you that maybe she should just stick to magic. I mean, they own it all. It's all under Disney now, so there's no reason not to bring those characters in.
Yeah, I mean, well, because they never even tied it to the last X-Men movies.
No. I mean, and that movie ends with such a setup of like
they're just right. They're just like walking through the woods, like, hey, we're gonna go maybe find this Essex guy.
Yeah. And that was
Only
it.
something they could do in the MCU.
They could have tied it to the Deadpool movies, you know, and right? Because wasn't it Essex Corp in Deadpool 2, right?
No, I think you're thinking of he was in a Wolverine movie. One of the Wolverine movies he was mentioned. I think Logan.
Okay, well, where's Mr. Sinister was wasn't that guy actually who ends up being Mr. Sinister? I thought it was
he
Essex.
was Essex Corporation.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Essex is Mr. Sinister.
I could have swore that's who the villain was in Deadpool 2.
No, in Deadpool 2, the villain is Fire Fist and Juggernaut, and trying to stop Cable from killing Fire Fist.
Okay, so I am getting confused with probably one of the one of the Wolverine movies. All right. There's too many movies, guys.
Well, they've been making this shit now for 26 years? I mean, that's if you count the X-Men as the first major
So Kasan says, I hate where this is going. Marvel is devolving into CW soap opera superhero shows. I'd rather eat rusty nails. Well, I will say this in the defense, Kasan, it's actually Sony, not Marvel. Sony does have final creative say, I think, in these movies. So, I mean, there's things that Marvel says you can do and can't do, but like,
No, but Marvel's gonna put up with a lot because they want Spider-Man in their
right.
shit.
So, just you wait for a full helping of Riri Williams and her plight for Ironheart, Kasan, says Thronkill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll cross that bridge when it comes.
Yeah,
up.
please don't think you're gonna make money with that shit. Put it on Disney Plus, but
It is. That is a Disney Plus show. We talked about it before. All right. So yeah, basically they said they denied that she's playing Black Cat and said they can't talk anymore about it. So we'll see. I mean, I like her as an actress. We'll see if she comes back.
Yeah. She's pretty
all right.
right.
The next two articles are all Q there, Donnie boy. Starting with
me.
Well, you're the one who said you wanted to talk about these. So apparently, because I feel that you might be more up on the comics right now than I am, Spidey is Juggernaut now. What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, which is funny because Kane Marco is also still Juggernaut.
Didn't he like I was reading the article, did he like Peter dies again and they use this to resurrect him? Is that
Yeah. That's the long and short of it. I mean, listen, I'm not going to be able to make comic book goofy fucking logic make sense.
No one is.
Never will. But yeah. But what I think is funny about it, and here's what he looks like.
Yeah.
He's fighting alongside the other Juggernaut, but that's what Spider-Man Juggernaut looks like. But the most important thing about it to me is that, that's your guy, Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Colossus is my guy. And the only other two people in the comic book or the only people in the comic book universe to have the Juggernaut powers are, of course, Kane Marco, and then our two favorite guys. Mine, of course, Piotr Rasputin, your guy, Peter Parker.
Right.
Somehow, fate has intertwined us to the point. We already have the same birthdays.
This is true.
But now both of our favorite characters have been the only other people other than Kane Marco to be the Juggernaut. So that's just crazy. That looks cool, though. I do like that.
Let's be honest, right? We've talked to so many people who work in the industry. I know so many creators. This was somebody doodled a picture of Spidey Juggernaut, and some editor at Marvel went, "Yeah, let's make that happen." And,
why the fuck not?
And they came up with a storyline to make it work. Again, it's comic book logic, people.
If Spider-Man's cum can poison his wife, he can become the Juggernaut.
He looks like an icy pop, says Thrawn.
A little bit.
A little bit. We won't deny that, but I mean that's the Juggernaut shape. Obviously this isn't going to be permanent, right? Like,
yeah, no, I'm sure. I think it's only the one issue. Although I don't know, Colossus had it for a while.
Yeah,
he had it until Magic finally took it from him. Which he kind of wanted, but he had it for a while. We may see.
Magic again. See, it all comes back to Magic.
It's great character. Happens to be my favorite character's sister. So.
Oh, is that what this is all about?
Yeah, it's all about the Rasputins.
So it's all about your favorite character. There's too much cake at Marvel HQ.
No, it's not cake.
Oh, Coke. I got
It's
Coke right here. Look, I got Coke right here. See?
Right.
Some Coke Zero. I'm trying to watch my sugar. Fuse psychosis. Look, Kasan, these characters have been around for what? 70 plus years, or 60 plus years.
Yeah, it's They get put through the ringer, all sorts of ideas, angles over the years.
I mean, I thought we saw everything when they killed him off, and then there's a spider god, and he cocoons himself and comes back to life. And for a while had webs came out of him. No, Kasan, that's never going to happen. Let them know final piece. You're why the ultimate line exists, because they can kill characters off and they're done. But in the regular 616 universe and in the DC universe, they have to keep the characters going on forever because it makes them money, which is funny, right? Actually, let's talk about that for a second. Even in DC, right, they have retired characters and brought someone new in. Like Green Lantern's a perfect example, right? There's been so many different Green Lanterns over the years.
Yeah, the legacy characters.
Flash, they killed off Barry Allen and then brought in Wally West, but they end up bringing back the originals anyway, and then you have multiple versions of these characters in DC. Marvel just keeps them alive forever. What's Kasan say here? Can you imagine if these characters could talk? Please don't do this to me. Writers, please don't make me do your little monkey dance. Let me go. Can I get a Punisher Squirrel Girl? Yeah, Thrawn, I think we're not far away from Punisher. That's who Anna Taylor-Joy can play.
Squirrel Girl? No, I don't know. I mean, based off, I never read a Squirrel Girl comic before because I think it's a completely ridiculous premise. But she is in Marvel Rivals.
Can you imagine?
She is quite thick.
Can you imagine if they brought Squirrel Girl into the MCU? Like,
it's happening. It's happening.
But is she going to be as powerful as they've made her in the comics?
Probably that's her gimmick.
And are they going to do the whole off-screen? Off-screen, she fights this character and defeats him, and then you just go back. You just switch back, and she's defeated Thanos and all of these characters. I don't know. I don't know.
But I hate those gimmicks. Certainly not my favorite character.
Kazan's on a rant. No, not that suit. What are you thinking? No, I've had enough. I can handle so much. I can only handle so much humiliation. Now we have Venom MJ. So come on. It doesn't end.
Never will.
It never will. So I mean, yeah, but that's like, I don't get why. Like, why did DC retire characters, replace them, and then bring back the originals? Right? Because most likely because it sells books when they bring back the originals.
Sales dips.
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the examples was breaking Batman's back, or killing Superman's a bad example because they acted like it was a final. He was gone and he was dead, but he came back so quick. That they had the plan all along to bring him back. Like that wasn't a mistake. They knew they were bringing him back. But the Batman one where Bane breaks his back, I feel like they really wanted to try to have a new Batman, and no one liked Azrael Batman.
Azrael. So because he was in a fucking mech suit, basically. But another example of that is Wolverine. They killed Wolverine at one point. He was actually dead for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And Laura Kinney, aka X-23, took the Wolverine mantle. Still has it. But they eventually brought him back. Ron kill chat. DC spawns new lanterns like Elon Musk has kids.
Thrawn, you in the chat tonight. That's the best line of the night.
That's
it doesn't even matter what side of the fence you're on. That's a funny comment.
Oh, I love Elon Musk. I'll tell you why.
Because you're having his next kid?
No.
Oh.
I mean, if I could, I would. The financial ramifications would be astounding. But
Well,
no,
that's
I would
true.
always write reports on him in college because I wasn't a very good report writer. But like, I just knew that Elon Musk was like super a lightning rod, and yeah, I would get a good grade every time. I'd write the same fucking Elon Musk report for every class, and I get a good grade.
Don't admit that out loud. Jeez.
Hey, I already got the degree. I already
might
got
take
it.
your degree
Summa
back.
cum laude. No, nope. It's right there. It ain't going nowhere. Summa cum laude, bitch.
Yeah. So,
It's only the English classes anyway.
well, of course.
Wasn't my major.
So yeah, Spidey's Juggernaut. It won't last, but they're running out of. They're really running out of ideas. You know who else is running out of ideas? The guys who make Magic the Gathering cards.
Oh boy.
This was another story you wanted to talk about tonight. So there's now a Deadpool Magic the Gathering card.
Well, not only is there Deadpool the Magic the Gathering card, but this shit was dropped on April Fools.
Yeah,
on
they called it Deadfool or something like that.
Right. So people were even questioning whether they should order them because it was April Fools.
Exactly.
I ordered 3. But anyway,
of course you did.
Let me show you here. Other than that just being fucking bonkers. Check this fucking card. Now, I know the Venn diagram of people that play Magic and people interested in superheroes might not intersect in a large section. So I only bring this up here on Superhero Speak because it involves a superhero. But not only that, it involves Deadpool. But not only that, read this fucking card. And if you don't play Magic, I'm just going to preface this by saying this is fucking bonkers, okay? So as you can see in the artwork, he's like cutting out the text. That's because, as you may read, as Deadpool enters, you may exchange his text box and another creature's, meaning that your opponent could have this big fucking huge redonkulous creature out. You play a Deadpool, and you take that creature's ability and give them the following. At the beginning of your upkeep, so basically at the beginning of your turn, you lose 3 life. And if you want that to stop, that's no problem. You can go ahead and pay 3 mana, sack the creature, and we get to draw a card. Again, if you don't play Magic, you're probably not comprehending how bonkers this fucking card is.
That is, well, I mean, anyone who plays a TCG, that's just a pretty bonkers card in general. Because, yeah, like that's, as long as you've got this card on the field, you're going to lose 3 life every turn. So, yeah.
So that was that. I just, cool stuff at Magic. I know a lot of people don't like the Universe Beyond because there is like Magic lore. So they have their sets that are based in the Magic lore, but then they just have crazy shit like this, like with the Marvel stuff. Final Fantasy's coming out. I've got 2 boxes of that coming.
Right, because they did Marvel stuff. It was back in October, right? They announced it when we were at New York Comic Con.
Don't remind me, Dave. I gotta tell you, because I'm still to this day. I don't know. I can't remember who we interviewed instead of going to that panel, and maybe it's a good thing I don't remember. But goddamn. So just for those that maybe don't know, me and Dave, of course, were at the last Comic Con, and Marvel was like, "Hey, we've got a big announcement at 3:30 having to do with Magic." And my smug ass was like, "Oh, I already know. They're going to introduce that they have Marvel cards." So we didn't go. We went to an interview. But not only did they announce that, they gave away like a limited edition comic book with the secret lair cards that are now worth a ton of fucking money. And yeah, I missed out on that because we went and interviewed. I think we wouldn't. At least it was the Prince of Persia guy, I think, which was kind of cool.
Yes. The creator of Prince of Persia.
But you could have handled that on your own. Okay, I'm done with that. I'm done with that just bitterness.
Can you play 3 of these cards at a time?
No. There's a rule in Magic. It's called the Legendary Rule. So legendary creatures, like Deadpool says legendary creatures, you can only have one of the same name on the board.
Yeah, go ahead, blame me. It'll make you feel better.
Hey, listen, man, I'm not blaming the dude that paid like $2,000 for hotel rooms. Okay, I'm not doing it.
So yeah, hey, come on, we had a good time. We
We
just
did have a
missed
good.
out
No, I'm not that bitter.
missed
I'm
out
just
on
like,
one freebie. So
would have made me
all
the
right.
coolest guy in the magic group.
Oh, and real quick, Thrawn did ask this, and it's a good question related to the other story. Do you have to remove his helmet to take off the Spidey, or take off the Spidey leg logo to power him? But yeah, like that's true, right? Like that's always been the thing with Juggernaut. You have to remove his helmet to depower him.
Oh, it don't even depower them. They just do that because that's the only way Professor X can shut them down.
Oh, you know what? They used to do that in the cartoon, though. It was always, oh, the helmet's the
Absolutely, that
secret
was
to his power.
Spider-Man. Yep,
All
that's the
right.
only. It doesn't depower him to take it off. It's just the only way he can get his mind.
Ah, okay.
His mind bullets.
Mind bullets. All right. Well, let's. You know what? We're gonna take a short break because we're gonna play a video for you that you may have seen, you may not have seen, but we're gonna talk about this. And of course, this was the video that was released about at CinemaCon for the new Superman.
Yep.
I'm
There you
muted.
go.
There you go.
Yep.
All right. That footage was released at CinemaCon over the past weekend, and of course, everyone has been talking about it online because they released it for everyone to see. That was from the official DC um, channel, which is funny because I did say this at the beginning of the show. Like Marvel released more footage from the Fantastic Four, but they didn't put that footage out there, which apparently it shows the Silver Surfer in the and it gives away a little bit more about the movie, but we could talk about that later. But this is interesting because a lot of people were saying some stupid things about the clips. I mean, these are all the Snyder bots saying like, okay, hold on, I like this. Kassan says, I'm liking this movie even more. And the sunburn makes sense. He's weak and so intense radiation to a normal body would hurt. Okay. So before we get into anything of some of the dumb comments from the Snyder bots, what did you think of the footage?
I liked it a lot. I liked as somebody that owns an 80-pound furry best friend, I totally, relate with, the dog coming in hot like that and maybe getting a bit too rough.
Yep.
So, that was cool. I liked that we saw the Fortress of Solitude. I like that it's not just, a bunch of icicles in the North Pole, that it comes up out of the ground, so that's why it can never be seen by drones or satellites or whatever. It's got obviously that defense mechanism. It itself can rotate as needed to use said sunburn machine that's used to repower Superman. I think the whole like, oh, why does it hurt? That's just creative license, man. It's so minuscule. It doesn't bother me whatsoever.
Well, that was one of the things my son said as well, which made a lot of sense. It's and because he saw the comments too, and he's like, it's dumb because it's healing him and it's stitching his bones back together and healing his muscles. Like that hurts. And this is being done at a time at thousands of times faster than a human being can heal. And of course it's going to cause him pain, like,
well, what I thought of was when you have a wound heal, right? Doesn't it itch? When something's healing, don't it kind of fucking itch? I just think he has a big fucking itch. They won't let him get it. He's like, oh, come on. Come on, that's all.
That would be the best. Is like after they're done, he goes, "Oh man, I'm so itchy."
Yeah. Come on, fuckers. Come on. That's all.
He is supposed to be taking care of him temporarily for his cousin Supergirl, who shows up later. I assume Thrawn is talking about Crypto.
I've heard that too. Yeah.
And of course, James says healing hurts. It does. Healing real injuries hurts. It does. Like, but it's funny because like all the Snyder bots are saying, "Oh, our Superman was hit by a nuclear bomb and he just like went into the sun, and a minute later he was perfectly fine." And it's just like, yeah, and then he got stabbed, 5 minutes later and was killed. But
right.
But regardless of that, like
your Superman has no future, Snyder bots. Just get over it.
But regardless of that, like yeah, I want a Superman who's strong and can save the day, but I don't want an overpowered Superman, who is the answer to everything all of the time, right? Like that's always the problem. And I'm sure I have a feeling James Gunn looked at it that way, right? Like especially Silver Age Superman, right? He was so powerful he could move entire planets, out of their orbit, with ease. Like he did all that kind of stuff all the time in the Silver Age. And which is like they kind of reset that at one point and made him so like he did have more weaknesses. And early Superman was not this all powerful being, but like when they portray him like that in the movies, especially in the Snyderverse, then it always becomes, well, then just call Superman every time there's a problem.
Yeah.
Which is what the whole Justice League movie was. We've got to bring Superman back from the dead because we can't solve this problem without him.
Yeah, that is lame. That is super duper lame.
Yeah, James says it's so hard to write a Superman that can't be hurt. Why? Or fucking through Luther into the goddamn sun? I don't know what that means, James.
Yeah, I don't know why you would fuck through Luther through the sun, but it's funny.
Kassan says all these minuscule details don't matter, and the fact people are picking these details apart is lame. Give me a damn good story. Right, exactly.
I'll keep my mouth shut. We don't need to talk acolyte tonight.
Oh, throw. He meant throw.
Or fucking throw Luther into the goddamn sun. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Which he could certainly do. Thrawn kill. Oh my God, parts of Wolverine's stick is healing. Why does it have to be a problem for Soups to have to heal too? I think you have two very different characters because Wolverine experiences pain on the regular. Wolverine experiences 3 knives going through his fucking hand every time he pops his claws, and he doesn't even wince. So
yeah.
And that's the thing about Superman is he doesn't feel a lot of pain. Yes.
Normally.
Wolverine's right. Normally. Wolverine, though, like, yes, he has a healing factor and his skeleton is indestructible. Everything around it is very destructible.
Yep.
And very much hurts when it gets incinerated. So you have to really fucking give Wolverine a lot of pain for him to react. Whereas Superman, I think it's a bit more of a surprise.
True. And
I do have one concern that I'll get to when you're ready, Dave.
Wow. I'll never be ready. Again, I don't want an all-powerful Superman, right? Like,
okay.
because like people forget, like technically he was killed by Doomsday in the comics without kryptonite. Doomsday was just stronger than him and beat him up till he died. Where um where in the not Justice League, Batman v Superman, Doomsday only gets the better of him because he's holding that kryptonite spear he's using to kill him. So he's weakened by the kryptonite. So that's the whole thing. Like Zack Snyder created this all-powerful Superman, and the only way to like hurt him was to have kryptonite weakening him, and then have a character that's as strong as him, stab him. Where it was like, well, or Doomsday could have just beat the crap out of him like he did in the comics.
Yeah.
So, Son said, Acolyte sucked. It's a shitty story. What's going on, Kassan?
I mentioned the Acolyte. I shouldn't have.
I thought it was because he wanted his mommy. Who wants his mommy?
Saved his life, Martha.
Yes, exactly. The name Martha. So yeah, I mean, but again, this is so comic accurate, it's almost disgusting. Like the robots, the Fortress of Solitude, the using the sun to heal him. Like, yeah, it's crazy. I here's the thing though, because they said this is the first. Someone said this is the first 5 minutes of the movie or whatever. Well, not even 5 minutes. First couple minutes of the movie. That doesn't make like this is how the movie starts. That doesn't make sense to me. But maybe I'm wrong.
I heard that too.
It's a weird way to start it.
Of a way. It is a weird way to start it. But it is a hell of a way to introduce the villain and to immediately say, like, yep, here's Superman, but
I feel like it's
game here.
This is what bugs me. It's gonna be one of those movies where it starts. What you're seeing is right after the second act, where the hero loses.
Yeah.
And then they flash back where it's like he's laying healing, and then you hear Superman think, and I bet you're wondering how I got into this situation. And they do the record scratch sound, and they flash back to 2 days earlier or whatever. And that's when you see Clark Kent walking down the street late for his job at the Daily Planet or whatever. And it's like, oh, okay. It's not my favorite storytelling technique, but I feel like it's the only way it makes sense. You can't just have a beat up Superman and Crypto save him, and it's like, what's going on here? That's your first question.
Right.
Let's see, what does Kassan say here? Look, Batman v Superman had its flaws. I liked it. Let's stop picking apart Snyder and ask everyone else to stop picking apart Gunn. Especially since we haven't seen the movie yet. Well, yeah, I agree with that aspect. We haven't seen the movie yet, so no, let's stop picking apart Gunn, but come on, it's Kassan. I think my least favorite line of all time. This is from Justice League, not Batman v Superman. What's your superpower? I'm rich. Like, Batman would not say that. So anyway, I don't know. You have any theories about this movie at this point?
No, I mean, it's mostly positive. They seem to be striking the right tone. And I do like the kind of hitting the ground running when it comes to the new DCU.
Yeah.
Like, hey, here we go. We got Lanterns. We got Hawkgirl. We got, Kaiju. And Superman doesn't even care about the giant eyeball with the big laser because there's already a Green Lantern on it. So he's not sweating it. Like, I like that. The only thing that has me concerned is that I like, are they going to make up a villain for this movie? I heard that they are. Like there's going to be some sort of like cloning of Superman, or something gets his powers. It's the dude in the black suit almost looks like Doomsday. Before he takes off his suit, or his suit gets ripped off.
Right, and
But
then
it's not. It's some
it
dude
has
with Superman powers.
it has the U, so everyone's saying it's Ultraman. Is it Ultraman? The who's basically the evil version of Superman from the comics, from like an alternate universe.
Okay.
There was a rumor that it's actually Henry Cavill under the suit, which would be funny, but it would be like stupid.
Yeah, that would be stupid.
I mean,
But we're
obviously,
getting Robert Downey Jr. Fucking Doom. So
I mean, let's be honest. Like, he has powers, right? You see that in the trailer because he's pushing Superman, and they're flying through that football field. So he has powers, and as strong as Superman. I mean, what? They've cloned Superman before. That's canon in the comics. We had Nuclear Man in Superman 4, which was combining nuclear missiles and a strain of Superman's hair. A strand of Superman's hair.
I think.
Oh my god. Dumbest villain of all time. So,
well, I think that goes back to the like power creep of Superman. Like if we get the almighty Superman, then they have to find a way to throw something at him that is also like all powerful, which to me was the biggest problem of Batman v Superman. Is like, I didn't even care so much that you brought Doomsday into it, but the fact that he's like some sort of like abomination clone of General Zod. Now that's fucking stupid. That and the whole Martha thing, it just ruins the whole movie for me, unfortunately.
yeah.
But other than that, it looks like they may be kind of making up a villain here, but my DC Comics knowledge is limited, so I may not know enough to make that judgment. But outside of that, everything looks great. The tone looks great, and again, I really do like diving into an already alive and going full speed DC universe.
Yeah. I agree. Okay, so yeah, Ultraman is Earth 3's evil Superman. So it is an alternate version of Superman from another universe. And the thing is, yeah, you know what? I'm looking at a list of like evil Superman duplicates or clones from the comics. Lest we forget the most famous clone of Superman, who did start out evil and kind of, I don't know if you really call him evil now. Bizarro.
Gee, that was Bizarro?
Bizarro is actually a clone of Superman. Like, so that's actually something they could do, and I could see James Gunn pulling that off. Is this is somehow a clone of Superman, and then he becomes, and it's Ultraman in the at first, and by the end of the movie becomes Bizarro. Like, that could be a fun take on it,
Yeah, why not?
Is no one else worried that there are too many heroes in a Superman movie? I feel like it's Justice League. Yeah, I did address that in an earlier episode, James, that like we have Superman, but we're also have a Green Lantern, we have Hawkgirl, we have Mr. Terrific. Like, it feels like a Justice League light. Hopefully they're just cameos. I feel like the story that he's telling is that this Earth is already a planet that has heroes on it, so they're not as shocked as Superman showing up. but at the same time, he is an alien, which makes him different. And what you call it? He's stronger than most of the heroes. So like, I feel like they're gonna play on that. Like he's treated like an outsider at first. James said he would love to see Bizarro versus Superman. We all would.
Yep.
And Bizarro would be like, Bizarro lose. Bizarro worst of all. Kasan, I really hope they don't do the villain is the evil side of the hero coin. Give me a unique villain that does not have the hero's abilities. Well, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's going to be Lex is somehow responsible for creating the clone, so he's the mastermind. But let's be honest, James Gunn's been over at Marvel for a long time, working in the MCU, and the MCU's main calling card is the villain at the end of the story is the evil version of the hero, and there's a big CGI battle at the end.
Yeah, big beam from the sky.
Yeah, so I mean, you got that in Black Panther, you got that in Iron Man versus Ironmonger, you got, so
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully not, but yeah, I agree. Like, let's have a unique villain. I don't know, because there's also still the rumors that it's Brainiac. That's what we're seeing, that Skybeam thing we're seeing when he's kissing Lois in the apartment there. That's actually Brainiac. So,
they can always go that route.
Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, Kasan is saying Guardians of the Galaxy didn't go that route, and I agree. But at the same time, James Gunn could have been thinking all of that time, I never got to do my mirror villain.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Yeah, long story short, I do think that footage made it more interesting. I want to see where this is going. And yeah, that's that. All right. Well, that's all the news. I don't think, unless you have something else you want to add, Don.
No, that's it, man. Nope, I got nothing
all right.
else.
Well, if that's it, then it's that time of the night. Got to ask the question.
What did we learn on the show tonight?
What did you learn, Don? Or do you have any recommendations, or both?
Well, I learned that if it's the Acolyte, then we're going to pay attention to all the minutia and complain about it. But if it's not Superman, we're not going to worry about that, and we're just going to wait for the good story. So good to know. Good to know there. No, outside of that, though, I did learn that I could do a show while sick. And it's not horrible. And what do I recommend? I recommend that if you haven't already, if you're like Dave and you haven't seen all of Andor season 1, I suggest you do that. Andor season 2 comes out on the 22nd, so you can watch an episode a day and still have a couple days to spare. So that's what I recommend.
All right. I learned that what did James say here? Misusing the word through turns a message pornographic. Misusing a word through turns a message
pornographic. Went from fucking throw to fucking through.
Yes. That's what James learned. Yes, there you go. And then of course,
yeah, he's amused. Okay.
And Kasana saying it's a bad story, Don.
Okay. Listen.
I learned
and we talk a lot on Discord.
But I learned that there's no end to the Acolyte debate when Don is involved. You're gonna die on that hill. It's gonna be.
I will die on that hill. No, okay. I'm not gonna die on the The Acolyte is a great story, Hill. I guess I could proclaim that I can see someone's point if they don't like the story.
Okay.
The hill that I will die on is that it breaks Star Wars lore and that Star Wars is dead because of it. That's the hill I'll die on. I'll die on the just because those two twins exist doesn't mean that Anakin ain't shit, because he's clearly the chosen one. You know, I'll die on the hill of, I know it hurts your feelings that the Jedi aren't pure and innocent, but that's just the way it is. So, and this show is continuing that narrative. I'll die on those hills.
James said it doesn't break lore.
Absolutely does not break lore.
There are other Force users. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I will also second your recommendation. If you're not caught up on the Acolyte season 1, do so.
You said Acolyte season 1. That's funny.
Oh, I'm sorry. Andor season 1, because Andor season 2 will be out shortly, and we will be talking about that on this podcast.
Will promote the Acolyte.
I also recommend you head on over to superheroespeak.com, where you can find the podcast, links to all our social media at the top of the page, comic book reviews, and so much more. I am going to be updating it soon, I hope. I also, if you haven't subscribed so yet, hold on, let me do this. I haven't done this in a while. I also recommend, if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button, click that bell for notifications so you don't miss us when we go live here on Sunday and Wednesday nights. If you like what we're doing here, smash that like button. It really does help with the algorithm and gets our show out there even more. Also leave some comments. That also helps with the algorithm. And of course, buy yourself a Superhero Speak t-shirt today. All the girls dig them. I'm telling you, they're the greatest t-shirts on the internet. That is what everyone is saying. At least that's what I've heard. So there you go. That's what I got to recommend. So anything interesting here before we go? Okay, Kasan says, last time I smashed the button, I had to buy a new laptop. I broke the screen and I'm sending you the bill. You know what? Everyone's a comedian tonight. That's what I really learned. All right, on that, boys and girls, as always, thanks for watching. Don't let your cape get caught in the door. See you next time.
If you haven't done so yet, subscribe. It really keeps this podcast alive. Smash the like button if you please. It gives us what we need. Maybe leave a comment or two. It's a really nice thing